Welcome back to Rockin' Bubbies.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Yeah. We got a song coming up from one of the bands that Denny manages called Outrun the Fall. This is Burning Alive.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Oh, come on. Come on, Jamie. What's wrong with you? I think we're having technical difficulties.
Oh, no. Jamie just didn't hit play.
And this is also part of the music video with Chet Davidson.
Yeah, you right.
Woo!
I was going to say let's like play a minute, but I want to listen to the whole damn thing. This is killer, dude.
Fucking really good.
I like that the music video plays on Spotify.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
And they're killing it on streams.
Hot dogs.
We can have it like kind of low in the background now.
So this is the same studio that you use, right, Matt?
Yeah, we actually just went there last weekend. We haven't done vocals. We go back and do that on next Monday. And then we'll be releasing, we did 3 songs.
How does your drummer like using a click track? Because I noticed that with...
Actually, right now, we don't have a drummer. And he did the drums all digital, but all the rest was... I played all the scratch tracks to click, and then we went in and...
I have a feeling there's a breakdown coming down.
Rearranged and did all the songs that way.
Oh, let's hear the breakdown. Ooh.
That's nasty.
That is nasty.
Yes, you bull.
Ooh, my mouth tastes funny.
That's how you make hits right there.
Gosh,
I love the lead over the top because it reminds me a lot of Killswitch.
yeah.
Totally.
And I love Killswitch.
Hey, Brandon and Ryan are awesome guitar players,
Yep.
man. They really are.
Killswitch was my first concert I ever went to.
Really?
Yep.
Are you a Howard fan?
Oh my god.
Oh, I love Howard.
Dude,
It's got to be Howard.
funny story actually. I went, so it was at Scott Trey. No, what's the one it used to? Not Ford Center in Evansville, but it used to be the one.
Robert Stadium.
Robert Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like 16, and it was Killswitch, Disturbed, Laguna Coil, and somebody else. Can't remember. Anyways, Killswitch came out. First song. Howard walked out, ripped his shirt completely off, and jumped down into the crowd and had his mic with him and had like a 75-foot long cord he had to it and just jumped in the pit. They opened up with Holy Diver, first fucking thing, and just started beating the shit out of somebody.
And that dude is jacked.
Oh my god,
too.
he's
for
so
sure.
sick.
Their new stuff is fucking bad.
Yeah.
So, where'd you guys record at?
Sectone Studio over in Cape Girardeau with Jack C. Daniels.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude.
We used to
Great.
go through Cape
And,
about once a week.
Yeah, that was actually my first time going over there last weekend. And,
Did you stop at Lambert's?
No.
No, don't
we
go.
We were on the north side.
Don't go to-
We barely went.
Oh, you had to
into
go down to
Cape.
Sykeston. That's
We
right.
were we were closer to what is that, Jackson?
Yeah.
Matt, don't go to Huddle House.
Don't go.
Oh, I've been to a few Huddle Houses.
do
in my
not
day,
go
but
to
it
a
was
Huddle
bad.
House.
I seen Webster snaps
It was bad.
from Huddle House.
It was bad. What's
Hey,
the deal?
like,
I mean, like, I don't know. It was like a bad dream. I mean, like a nightmare, if you will. I mean, like I went there and like these guys, they can eat shit out of a shoe. You know, it's like, I mean, like I my diet, like I can't have X amount of things.
Yeah, you were saying you're.
I mean, I can't have gluten, can't have eggs, and I got to be very careful, you know. So I mean, like no croutons, no bread. I mean, just
So you eat fucking berries all
So
day.
what do you eat?
what do you eat? Dude, like my staple is like vegetables.
He's like the opposite of our singer Dustin. Our singer Dustin, he only eats like the worst things you could possibly. Like he eats Uncrustables, and that's about it. Like his diet is his diet is Uncrustables and like taquitos and dinosaur chicken nuggets. And
Hey, man. And he's gonna live to be 197.
No, I swear-
dude.
I
I'm
swear-
telling you.
I swear to God, dude.
The dinosaur chicken nuggets come
Dude is skinny as hell, has death metal vocals, and doesn't eat anything. And like any vegetable you bring up, he's like, ugh. Or any meat, he's like, ugh, that's freaking disgusting.
fucking dinosaur
Feel better
chicken.
though.
But he's like,
do you think
he's
that-
like, I'll slam some dinosaur nuggets. Like he's just like,
Do you think that like there's a like like in one of your songs like he's really singing about fucking dinosaur
Oh,
nuggets?
I think yeah, yeah. There's hidden messages in there, but it's so funny because like anytime we talk about like if we ever tour or anything, he's like, I'll just buy a family pack of Uncrustables and I'm good. Like the whole time we were down there last weekend, like every restaurant, he's like, ugh, how we going there? And we're like,
So you remember when we used to go play in Carbondale all the time, like Boo Juniors and Mugsies and all that
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Joe Simpson would always make me stop at the Moto Mart.
Get a brownie.
Because he had to get a half gallon of Mountain Dew and a fucking brownie.
He always had to get a brownie because he said it helped his vocals.
Yeah, because he could go, oh.
He said it coated his throat.
Yeah,
helped the
and
vocals.
dude,
It probably does.
if I
Makes
fucking
sense.
drove by the Moto Mart in Carterville, he would lose his shit on me, and I would have to spin it around and go back and get that fucking brownie.
It was
it was retarded.
yeah, whenever he was with me, it was always the double decker fudge fudge round.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what.
Double decker fudge round. He's like, it's great for the vocals.
I'm telling you, and he's probably freaking right, dude. It's weird what things coat your throat.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, right.
It's,
Like,
it's
'cause
just
I did-
hilarious.
When I first started in the band we're in right now, my voice would crack at the beginning of fourth set or third.
It's called
set.
puberty.
Yeah, it's called puberty.
Puppy.
so
It's
I
not
would
brownies. It's puberty.
I would buy a throat coat. I would drink throat coat. I would suck on lemon drops.
That's not the only thing you saw.
That's what they.
I knew that was coming.
They used to call me. That's what they used to call me in high school.
Who's lemon
Throat
drops?
throat coat.
Good old throat
That
coats
was my
coming to
nickname in
school.
high school.
The
Actually.
OTC.
It's
the
very
old throat
important.
coat.
It's very important. I've been to a gig before and was getting ready to play on. It was on a Friday, and I felt something coming on. I go straight to like the doctor up here, and I'd be like, "Hey, I'm feeling something coming on. I got a gig tomorrow. I need this
I
shit
remember that.
gone.
I remember that.
You
yeah.
you shoot me up with whatever you got to do."
Wasn't that before we played your company's Christmas party?
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy what you'll do for
Dude,
a crappy gig or whatever.
So like we're setting up for his company Christmas party, and I always run the PA, and I got a playlist on my phone. I don't even pay attention to what's going on, and it wasn't even that bad. Like it was like Seven Dust, it's like children's metal, and I love Seven Dust. I've met LeJean. I dig Seven Dust. I always have, and it comes on, and he comes flying around the corner. You can't play that for my company. It's too heavy, and he like shut it off.
Oh, dude, it's straight straight lace, whatever. They wanted that
I mean,
classic
it wasn't
rock,
like
but-
fucking Raining Blood or anything. I mean, it was like
He's like, "Get him, brother, get some Radiohead."
Steve Simpson looks at him and goes, "God damn it."
Anyways, here's Wonderwall.
I think we played freaking Wonderwall that night.
No, we never have played Wonderwall.
Yeah,
no,
well,
never
it was
have.
before
That's a-
you.
I've never have.
I
played.
have.
That's funny.
I got
Whatever.
conditions.
Whatever. So we were talking about kids earlier. I've got a big thing going on. I definitely didn't want to talk about them. But
Oh, you're getting fucking cut tomorrow, ain't you, bud?
Oh,
Are you?
Dude, I hope
Yeah.
I hope. Like I asked your wife today when I was.
Hey, I just want to take a second to send out thoughts and prayers.
So his wife works at the school my daughter goes to.
Yeah.
So I was picking up Grayson today, and I go, "Hey,
No, you
you're
didn't.
yeah." I looked at Lori and I go, "Hey, Lori, you think that would work? Like, you know how dogs kind of calm the fuck down after they get cut? You think that's gonna work with pets? Because I sure as hell hope so. I can't handle much more of this.
He comes in here next time. He's like, "Hey guys,
Hey.
Hey,
Yeah.
this is Pez.
So-
Skylar's gonna be like, Jesus Christ. I
So
hope so.
I literally not to get off. So, I literally like fucking looked up on YouTube how to shave my nuts with a razor because they want my nuts shaved. But you know,
How'd that go
I've
for
been
you?
doing that for years.
I was gonna say, I didn't know anybody didn't shave
Hey,
their nuts.
just get one of your bubbies.
Yeah, I know a guy that'll shave your nuts for you.
give a guy a hand?
So
Yeah, that's happening tomorrow.
So
I'm nervous
tomorrow,
about
so tomorrow you're doing it.
yeah, 9:30 in the morning. I'm nervous. Shit,
I
That's
would
why
be
you're
too.
drinking so much tonight.
I think so.
They're gonna cut his nutsack open. It's just gonna pour blood everywhere.
Oh,
He's
Jesus
like, I ain't going into this sober.
Yeah, I'm a one and done kind of guy. I've only got one kid. I've got a stepson.
Okay.
And he's like 21 or no, hell, he's almost, I think he's 22. He's 22 now. So I'm a one and done type. I mean, I'd love to have more kids, but it's just,
Well, then you're not a one and done type. You just like your wife is like, you're getting cut.
Your
no, I
wife's the
mean,
one and done type.
Your wife's the one
So-
and done type. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: like, this is
Yeah.
guy to guy
Yeah.
conversation right now. So I've got my two sons, I got my stepdaughter, and like I'm
finished?
done. I'm done. We kind of tossed the idea, around of like maybe a third, but I think that we're kind of like, yeah, I'm done. But
you know, it hits you whenever the kid starts acting up. You're like, yeah, I'm finished.
I'm like, he's screaming bloody murder and he's not sleeping through the night. I'm like, I'm freaking done, babe.
Yeah.
But so, I'm
even hit the hard part
I'm
yet.
gonna have to like
No doubt.
live through you, or we're gonna have another podcast, or
Yeah.
I need your phone number because I need, like, I'm gonna get this done, and like I'm nervous as shit.
Well-
and I haven't even scheduled myself.
Thanks for making me feel better. Seriously, happen at 9:30 in the morning tomorrow.
Fuck, where are you going? Is it
I'm going to Southern Illinois, Marion.
okay? Okay.
Yeah, he told me what all he's going to do. He actually drew a freaking picture and
your
of
balls?
a dick and
Dude,
balls.
was it like you had to lay it on the paper and he did the outline?
Like a turkey
Like
hand.
the turkey hand. He's like, give me that turkey hand dick. Come here.
Nurse, go get a smaller notepad. This ain't working.
I need a memo pad. You might got to post it.
Hell, we can fold it in half. It'll be all right.
Oh my god, man!
That's why I'm nervous. You know what happens when you get nervous.
Yeah, I mean, penis shrivels up.
He's like, it's been cold.
Dude, so like, I was just texting my buddy from LA today, and I go, and he goes, man, I cannot wait to get snipped. I'm like, we're doing it, and I'm like, dude, I go, I'm nervous, and he goes, why, man? He goes, it's just in and out. I go, they're just gonna laugh at my dick. I'm like, because first off, it's cold in there, and it's just gonna look like a tiny little king on a ball sack throne.
they're really gonna laugh.
Every dude's like, I got a weird dick.
And you know what's really messed up is there's always a beautiful nurse that's like looking at your dick like, we're gonna put a needle in there.
What they're really going to freak out about is when they pull his pants down and see he has a vagina.
Terrible, awful.
This stupid bastard wants us to cut his nuts.
No, so I've never shaved my nuts. I literally looked at a YouTube video because they want me to shave my nuts before I go in
Did
there.
you say
He's
never?
like, sir,
Never.
did you sign
I've never
up for
shaved my
skating or
nuts with a
nude?
razor.
I bet your dick looks like a groundhog in a brush
No,
pile.
no.
dude.
I'm hairless, buddy. So they told me what they were going to do. He drew a picture. He drew a picture, man, and he's like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tie this sucker off, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to tie it off, and I'm going to burn it. I'm like, okay, cool. Cool, man. All right.
Sounds like a good weekend.
So really, I'm off for a little bit, but it'll be.
What's the process of this? Do they put you to sleep?
No, God dang it!
What
I wish.
happened?
It's all
Yeah,
local.
just gonna
It's
feel
like
a
a local
tug.
anesthetic.
Yeah, they literally give me a needle and
Absolutely
I'm
not.
gonna feel it.
So get this story. I had a buddy that had this done, but he lives in LA. And you have to give like a sperm sample like after a week or two
Right.
just to check your levels, make sure you're sterile.
Yeah.
You know? Well, traffic is so bad in LA that he's like, I don't have enough time because there's like a 2-hour window. They're like, all the sperm's going to be dead.
This is going.
So man, he got there and he just beat off in the parking lot just so he could like make sure.
It's like some OnlyFans shit.
I mean, just make damn sure that he gave them exactly what they needed at the exact same time.
Well,
That sounds like a good selling point for Tesla, right there.
so
Do you need to make a sperm donor appointment?
we will drive you.
Auto drive.
Yeah, you might
Jerk yourself off there the whole way.
both hands are going to be free. What you going to do?
so they want you to jerk off, I think, 20 times
Yeah,
before.
you got to clear your tubes, and
Yeah.
everything.
So
And-
I was at work and this guy said, "Yeah, you don't want to get no friggin' vasectomy." I said, "What?" I'm not going to give any names. And he's like,
but Gerald said,
But Gerald said so. So his wife's, I guess, pregnant, and sorry to call you out, brother, but he was like, this was in beginning. This was the beginning of this month, and he goes, "Yeah, I got it in November." He said they want me to get off 20 times, and I said, "Well, didn't you get off 20 times? I mean, you got it in November." He's like, "No, hell, she's pregnant." I said, "Well, don't you like beat that sucker? I mean, god dang, dude." He said, "I haven't got 20 times, so I can't go in there and get my sperm sample." I said,
You're like,
"Come
I'll
on."
see you in 3 years.
Yeah. I'll see you in like 3 weeks, dude. I'll be done with 20.
no shit, man. I'll see you in 72 hours. Shit.
I'm jerking off right now.
I mean, shit, you guys. It's all about the healthy prostate. Okay, you got to keep that shit healthy.
Yeah.
Beat off.
It is.
Yeah.
It does cause prostate cancer.
Is that what you're supposed to tell the old lady? Like, hey,
How did we get here?
No, where are we going to go from
This is
here on
what
out?
this is what happens.
So anyway, I do T-shirt designs. Anyway, I shave my balls.
Okay,
I do T-shirt designs and I shave my balls regularly.
Is it like which order though? Like, is it after you shave your balls you get your inspiration?
I mean, dude, you never know. I mean, it's all different.
So who have you?
Matters the band.
Who have you met anybody big?
Oh shoot.
Have you met anybody like?
Are we
like-
still talking about balls?
No. Yeah, you're many big balls.
Hey, I know a guy. He was in one of your band.
So
That's a big one.
JB.
Oh yeah,
when I was in LA,
like two coconuts, man.
The king
first or
sitting
second
on the
time,
crown.
I went to the it's on Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
The Rainbow Room,
Yeah.
and pretty polluted. I was with a couple of the guys in the band, and I think Ron Jeremy was there.
Yeah.
You did meet some big balls.
So I met someone big. Now, great. Yeah. Now, as far as like meeting bands and everything, like I met Howard from Killswitch. I did a bunch of thank you, sir. I did a bunch of work for some bands, some labels, and I got some backstage passes and
Like who?
for the what.
I think he's lying.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I'm not.
it's probably
I'm
Can't
trying-
come up with names. He's
No,
lying.
the biggest thing I want to
no, I'm
learn
just-
is what was Ron Jeremy like?
Oh, dude, I was too polluted to even know what was going on. I barely knew my own name, but I can't remember what this festival was. It was like a big metal fest. It had Bullet for My Valentine, Marilyn Manson, Slayer, and someone else that came to St. Louis. Guys, we're talking.
So did Slayer eat Bullet for My Valentine?
I mean, dude, Slayer was. Oh, God forbid, that was it. So
Good choice. Yeah.
So anyway, I was backstage. I got to rub shoulders with a lot of these guys, but I never got to meet Manson, and like he's one of my top faves, and I didn't get to meet him. I'm like, okay, all good, but I got to meet some of the other bands, and it was really cool. And they had beer gardens and all this fun stuff, and I'm just like, I kind of felt like a little kid in a candy shop, and I kind of, I dialed it back. I wasn't a fanboy.
Yeah.
It'd be hard for me to do with Slayer walking around.
Yeah,
and not be a fanboy.
It was wild, man. I mean, like it was crazy. I mean, like you look over and they're like sitting, eating, getting ready to play, and you're just like, right on. I'm gonna finish this drink. Cool. And I'm nobody back there.
Are you gonna finish some scalloped potatoes?
Yeah, I'm just like, oh,
I want to use your fork.
Yeah. I'm like, so,
it.
but I mean, like, I've got to meet like a handful of bands that, even at Victory, like A Day to Remember, Silverstein,
Nice.
Hawthorne, Treyu. I mean, like, a handful of bands. I mean, like, but I've never been able to like walk into a room with Green Day or anything like that.
Right.
Wasn't the singer from Atreyu the one that like? Am I wrong? I might be wrong, but the one who plotted to kill his wife.
No, that was Tim from As I Lay Dying.
That's right. I got it mixed up. And the Ice Earth guy went riding on the fucking Capitol.
Yeah,
You guys
I
see
saw
that?
that. I saw that.
The guitar player from Iced Earth.
Yeah,
I remember Stroll turning me on to Iced Earth years ago. I loved Iced Earth, and he'd ride it on the Capitol.
Weren't they a Victory band?
I don't know.
They've been on a lot of different labels. Actually,
Look that up, Jamie.
Actually,
your mouth
this is a
before I
good
have
spot
sex
to
with it.
since we're talking about labels
Oh, Jesus Christ.
to section into Seek and Strike.
Yeah,
You haven't talked to
You
any
sure?
Seek and
Yeah,
Strike.
I was going to ask
Yeah.
about that.
Okay. Yeah. So
So, like, tell the Randy how you got in with Randy at Victory.
yeah. So I worked with Randy up at Victory, and then he went to Sumerian, went to Century Media, and him and we just always stayed in touch, and we just were buddies. And so we started a label in LA called Seek and Strike, and then they were doing a lot of like label services and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my band at the time, like we did some work with those guys and everything. And they kind of got us hooked up with like who we recorded our EP with. But since then, they've kind of like retooled things on their end, and they're. I want to be very careful with how I say this, because like I don't know how all the moving parts work on that end. But they wanted me to kind of like work on their website and do a lot of their apparel
design,
stuff and
yeah.
stuff like that. So I mean, like we've been doing stuff like Orbit Culture. Those guys are just amazing. Upon a Burning Body, and then Monasteries. Oh shoot, I'm kind of going blank with our
It's a
roster.
big deal, though. It's like you can tell like how their ownership, who owns it and everything.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing wonderful things, and I love being kind of part of that equation, and just really kind of like helping them like work on like the e-commerce side of things, and
Right.
and
So-
how.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep
No,
going. That was me.
I mean, it's just kind of how it works, and I do that on on my free time, and but that's what these guys do like full time. So I try to be very careful with what I say, because like it's their label, not mine.
Right.
And I'm just kind of like I know my role.
But you say it's in your free time, but you do a lot. Like you work hard on that.
Yeah, I do. I maintain their website.
That's what I'm saying. Don't
I
toot your own horn. A little
Yeah,
bit.
come on,
Okay.
toot a little bit.
Do,
All right.
do you help scout any of the bands?
I do. I do and I don't, because I guess like back when they were like more label services, like I would scout a lot of bands and I would send them over to the fence. But now that they're, I think they're, don't quote me on this, but I'm almost positive they're, operating under Sony. So they kind of like do their own thing and stuff like that. But, I run their e-commerce store, the Shopify, and we, the designs and everything, the updates on the website and everything like that. So like I pretty much manage and run all that.
So when you have like a band like Outrun the Fall and then Matt's band, so like when you get to a certain point where you think that you need to start shopping them,
Yes, you pull.
when they start getting the pull.
right here.
So, like, you get to a certain point with the music that you think that you need to start pushing them a little harder and maybe start shopping them. Do you have like how am I going to word this? Do you have like a go-to guy that you would send them to like, I don't need his name. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, say Matt, like, laid down this killer track and these guys got this badass EP coming out and it's just going to be killer.
Like, you mean like an Abaddon track?
Yeah, so either that or Outrun the Fall. Like, you got something that, man, I know this is legit.
Well, it's not really his job to, like, try to get us to, like, a certain person. He is just, like, management. So he will shop it to, like, multiple.
Right, that's what I'm getting at. It's
Yeah.
like do you just do it across a broad platform, or do you just have a certain amount of people that you
Sure.
know in the industry that you're going to help push them along the line?
I think I'm tracking with you. So, as far as like Seek and Strike and like the bands that I'm working with, like I keep it separated like oil and water, because like Seek and Strike, they're doing their own thing. They know what kind of catalog they're building, and I know my role as far as like doing that. And then as far as like me managing bands, you know, there's a handful of labels, a handful of contacts that I'm going to hit up specifically for Matt's band whenever I feel like that they're at a spot that I'm like, okay, well, we can totally shop you guys. Let's like kind of talk to some labels. And then the same thing with like Outrun the Fall. It's kind of like each band's got their own respected avenues that they can kind of like go down, because like obviously Abaddon's a little bit more hardcore, a lot more hardcore than Outrun the Fall.
So
Well, that's why I worded it that way. I didn't want it to sound like he has certain specific people he's tied into that he's like, oh, hey, I've got this band. Let's do something with them. I was just meaning like as far as like the bands that he's working with, like he'll just shop them around and be like to the best fit of what he thinks.
I worded
So
it.
it's not like he's leaning on certain peoples he has ties with.
It's actually not what I meant. I just said it wrong. What I meant is like, is there a certain time period, like when you see the progression of that band?
Oh, I get you. Okay.
Get that? Like,
I was just wanting to make sure that
Yeah.
it
No,
wasn't
no.
like he's got these ties.
No.
And he's
That's
trying
not
to
what I
do
meant at all.
I get what
I
you're saying.
confused that because I'm not real good at talking.
He's
So.
terrible.
Hamilton
freaking
County 2 + 2 equals chair.
That's awesome. I mean, I like that. That's good.
But what I was getting at is like, so like Outrun the Fall, like they're on this spectrum of this, and you have a certain expectation to where you think that, because you don't want to push them too early,
Sure.
and then they fall on their face,
Right.
Yep.
and ruin their whole momentum.
Well, and dude, to that point, like, I'm not gonna knock on a label's door or burn a favor.
Yeah.
When I feel like a band isn't ready yet,
Right,
because
exactly, that's what I'm getting at.
I'm gonna look like a freaking idiot.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, like my whole thing is like, I just had a conversation with a guy today that he was kind of wanting me to work with their band, and they're from Texas and everything. Great guy, awesome band, but I'm trying to like allocate like man hours. Like, okay, can I really make it happen? I'm not too sure. But I explained to him, I'm like, I don't have a crystal ball. Like, I can't promise you anything.
Right,
But like, and I'm not saying like everything I do for a band is right or wrong or whatever, but I have a pretty good like finger on the pulse of like what I know bands need to kind of like go through, and what we need to show, what numbers and this and that, and then you kind of use that for like your collateral to kind of like hey, I'm working with this band, I think they might be a pretty good fit for ABC XYZ. What do you think? And like I've kind of I've kind of like pre-baked like what I wanted to do for Outrun the Fall and Abaddon, because I feel like that they both have potential, but it's like each one of these bands were at kind of different milestones with their band. Now, Abaddon, I remember they were this baby band, and like I'll be honest, and like Matt, no disrespect, like they were a baby band, but now they, but the sheer fact that like, I seen them grow so much over like 2 to 3 years, and go ahead.
Well, whatever you do,
Oh,
and maybe maybe 3 years ago, made them $1 million. I mean, so, and I said this. I don't.
You got that $1 million? I need a loan.
I wish I had $1 million.
I mean, legit.
Let's go to Scarlet.
And it is
Thank
so
you.
freaking. It's impressive.
well,
Thank you. I
and that's why I wanted a piece. When I texted you, I'm like, man,
Just wait until you hear our new stuff.
do you like,
For people listening,
do you like
so-
cover bands?
well, one of the reasons why I wanted to have you guys on here is because, like, not only because we went to school together and I've known you guys forever, it's been years since we've seen each other.
Sure.
Not just that, it's like watching, like knowing Matt on a very personal. He's one of my best friends from years ago, and seeing him progress and grow, and then seeing your touch on it, and then watching it go from this stage to that stage. Yeah. Like
Awesome.
Like I remember watching Matt write riffs, and then I start listening to the shit that he's laying down now, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, he's an animal.
Yeah.
He's
I
an
mean,
animal.
so I mean, like, you know, and kind of coming full circle with the conversation, like, Matt, like, I love him. He's one of my best friends. You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean,
you guys-
like, what's not to love about
Well,
it?
you guys were in a band together,
Yeah.
like in high school, man.
But I mean, like, you know, taking, you know, what they were doing, but then just kind of elevating it. Like, I've got a pretty good idea, like, what bands need to do and what steps they need to take. And sometimes, like, it's a little difficult because, like, these bands, they're like, they've got their own idea of what they want to do. And I'm like, and that's fine and dandy. Like, I'm trying to help you. And I'm not saying I'm the end all be all opinion or anything like that, but it's like, I've been doing it long enough that I'm like, okay, well, I know what a good photo is. I know what a good design is. I know what a good website is. I know what a good apparel design is. I know what all those things working collectively together. Like, I know what that looks like and what that is and how that talks and communicates to, like, other labels or management or whatever. So, I mean, like, I did it. I mean, like, I can do it in my sleep, but it's like you finally have a band that's just like, hey, man, you do you. We're going to do our thing. Like, you do
just take care of all the other shit.
Yeah.
And it's like I think really it's like a good relationship because we have a super give and take. Like, he does all, like, design stuff. Do whatever you want. You do great. You do that. And then he's like, okay, do this. And we're like, okay, but we're, like, going to change, but we're not going to change in this way because we want to do our own thing. Like,
Right.
the way that we do it. And so it's like a give and take.
So,
But, like we did, this would just be an example, like the photos and stuff that we did.
Yeah,
at
they're
one
great.
time we had like a certain image that we were going for, and he's like, "Man, you guys need to do this the jeans stuff." And I was like, "No, dude, we wear shorts. This band wears shorts year round." I mean, seriously,
No,
this was
could
one.
not-
He's like,
I could not get
he's
them
like-
in black jeans.
He's like, black
no,
jean,
man.
black jeans and black windbreakers. That's the photo. We went down there. We did it once. We showed up the next time. He's like, "Why are you guys not in jeans?" I'm like, "This band is not a jeans
we
band."
don't wear fucking jeans.
And he goes,
period.
we wear
did.
Dickies.
I said we wear Dickies fucking shorts.
and so
This band wears Dickies shorts. That's just how we are.
And it was
I said,
very-
I have 2 pair of jeans. One of them's because you made me buy them.
The other one, because it's
Yeah.
before I go, my
One of
mom
'em's-
makes me go to church.
One of them's because you made me buy them for the last photo shoot. We wear shorts. And then he, like, it's a give and take. And then he's like, after we did it, he's like, okay, it works. It does it for your band. We see where we're going, and we just move forward.
Yep.
Like I was talking to Denny earlier, and like I don't know, a couple weeks ago about Mudhouse is kind of on the verge of getting ready to record.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need a logo. We need something going on. And we were conversing back and forth, and we was talking about, and not to name any people, no, to name anybody in particular, but like we was talking about how it is so hard to get everybody on the same page, how you like to work with one person. And that goes to show, like, you were just handling, I didn't know that you were just handling that side of the band and they're just working on the music, because that's amazing. Because when you can take that kind of pressure off them, because that's half the battle.
Yeah.
Like half the arguments in bands is like, well, what do you want to do with this? Who are we gonna? What kind of logo?
I mean,
we gonna do?
and he gives us advice on on certain things. Like he will say, like, it'd be cool if you tried this, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, it's a give and take, man.
But-
You gotta.
like he since he's moved back, like he gets to come down to a lot of our practices and stuff. So he'll hear some of our newer stuff and be like, well, maybe it would sound cool if you did this. And actually, like a couple of the things that he had were good, and I like used them, and they ended up on our new like recordings.
Yeah.
Like a lot of his ideas. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it just outsider's perspective. I mean, like, and it's awesome being back here because like I can like bounce into a practice. And,
No, you didn't.
It's almost.
Man down.
oh, beer beer down.
Anybody got a mung towel?
It ain't no big deal,
Why?
dude.
Why is he a bubby?
he's a baby.
I mean, like, you know, we you
I
know,
rubbed it in.
Don't worry about it. These carpets are awful.
Just rub it
anyways.
in the carpet.
I rubbed it in.
I don't know. We've been able to like really kind of like put our heads together and like kind of come up with some like really good ideas. And you know, before we went to the studio with Jack, I was telling Matt, I'm like, you know, I used to freak out before recording, but then like once you finally record with like a real producer, you know, you're not like just you're not walking into a room and they're just going button pusher, just going, all right, what's your part? Go record. I mean, like you got someone that's like they want to really explore the idea, like what are we trying to say? You know, how are we trying to say it? And, and buddy, like when you finally work with a producer, you know it, and you just go, holy shit.
And that was great advice because when we went and did that last weekend, that was the coolest music thing I've ever like done the entire time.
It wasn't like DNS Records.
No, like in 15 years, 15 plus years or whatever that I've been like recording.
What's longer than that, man?
I've never had somebody that like took every riff that I wrote and incorporated it into the song, but the song was nothing like what I went in there with.
Really?
Like it was all rearranged. Right. It was all things added, things taken out.
And I told Matt, I'm like, don't be married to like some of these riffs or ideas or just like kind of the structure because I'm like that will change.
It was great though.
Now, guys, like when
I had several like things that I thought like they went together really well. But he's like, well, you kind of end here on this, and you end on this note on this. Let's try to change the flow of the song. Like it was awesome.
That's what Unk does to me all the time. Like playing with Lou from Zas. Like I've been playing with this cat for 5 years, and like when we did the bottom blend, and he's like, "Stop, no, do it again." You know it. But like even at practice, he's just like, he goes, "They go together, but you're ending on this chord." And he taught me how. And I would love to one day work with an actual somebody to tell me what I'm doing.
Yeah, it was the coolest thing I've
did it humble you any? Like did it like?
Oh, definitely because the guy.
Did it make you feel like shit a little bit?
Yeah, Jack, the dude we record with. He's like an amazing guitar player. So the whole time I was like intimidated. Anyway.
Oh, for sure.
Like I'm like, this dude blows me out of the water. Like everything I do, he's like, come on now, you know. But he wasn't. He was cool. He was easy to work with, and all of his ideas, he's just like, try this, do that, and work through it. And then he would do like something and show me, and I was like, okay, cool. Now I get it. Like,
and
he
like,
showed me a lot of things. I learned a lot of stuff really in just that weekend.
And to Tiger Bite on that, like, you know, when I went to LA, like we were kind of nervous on like, you know, well, do we have enough chops? Do we have enough riffs? Do we have enough song ideas? And like, we had probably enough to like make probably 3 albums, because like we would sit around and we'd go, what's a riff that you got? And, you know, we would play some stuff from our phone that we wrote like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And you know, Mitch was like, that's a cool riff. He goes, let's do that. And then we'd go, oh, okay. Well, this is a song that we didn't even think that. So, I mean, like when you work with someone that's like that in tune, I'm like, I told Matt, I'm like, don't worry, don't stress. I'm like, Jack's, this dude, he's got it figured out. I'm like, once you work with like a real producer and engineer, like, it's like the outsider looking in. It's just like, okay, how much are you going to let me play jazz with this?
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with Jack before Abaddon went down to record, and I was like, look, I'm like, you know, Matt is kind of like the heart of the writing. he's got all the riffs and everything like that, and not discrediting any of the other guys, but I mean, like, you bring the shit to the table, and
Always has.
Yeah, and sucks he's got a big dick too, but anyway, but anyway,
Don't lie on the internet.
but he's gonna get a vasectomy, and I'm gonna take care. But like, where I'm going with that is like, and Matt was kind of like worried. He was like, hey man, I'm gonna bring my backpack full of riffs, and I'm like, man, I'm like, I get it, I understand, but I go, until you do it, like it's like you're gonna worry about this. So I'm like, just get down there, work with this guy. And now I feel like that he's in a better headspace. He's like, shit, I could go down there with like 3 riffs, and we're gonna come back with 4 different songs.
I can't wait to do it again.
And it grows awesome. You as an artist, and like, especially someone that writes as much as Matt. And he's like, I consider Matt kind of the riff whisperer. Like, I feel like that he's like, you need to work with, like, he's like the brain behind the operations, but then you got to have someone just kind of like makes that talk on the soundboard, Well,
we talked about it last time. What the heck is up with Hamilton County and you guys being talented and shit? I mean, what is wrong?
I don't think we're talented. I think we just wing it.
Fucking Ren Lake water, dude.
Yeah.
There's
he said it was either meth or music.
I think it's a mix. The meth got in the water.
I mean, hats off to you guys, because that shit don't happen in
Bubba climbed the water tower and dumped his whole batch.
Shit don't happen in White County, and it's really amazing. In art,
man, you can't say that, dude. It's just, I don't think that's true, man, because there's a lot of
There's a little bit,
yeah,
but there's not as much.
It's the same there. You think that, but like, we're like the only guys that you've ever met from there that do that, right? Because we're the only dudes that do that.
Yeah, but
he just knows the guys I know.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
a lot of musicians.
Like you think it's that way, but
well,
it's just because
even
you've just
Cronin
met a
said that
few.
on the last podcast. He even brought that up. He's like, well, what the hell is it with McLeansboro with pumping out these musicians?
It's pretty impressive, man.
I mean, Kurt Reed, he ran them all off. Nobody wanted to play basketball for him no more, so they picked up a guitar.
Yeah.
Which comes to bring up, man.
Them drills, dog.
Dude, you were a bad basketball player, man, back in the day. You were pretty good. You were, as Danny Lakin had once said to me one time, son, you were slicker than cum on a doorknob.
Oh my God. I quit my senior year.
You've been at Pez's house way too much.
It is hard to get in his house. There's no breaking and entering. It's sliding.
They don't
right
even
off.
lock the doors around their house. It's just cum knobs. Try to get in here, I dare you.
It's like, we don't have guns. We got cum knobs, though. You can't get in.
No, I remember, man. Like I played 2 years.
That back door slick, boy.
This boy right here, he was slicker than coming the doorknob. He just slide right by him.
No, you said you've been to L.A. I'm not trying to get off subject.
Oh yeah,
here.
go.
You just completely did.
Did I?
Thanks a lot.
We're getting back to where we need to be.
I think we were on a pretty good topic.
I thought cum doorknobs was an excellent topic.
Hey, we'll talk about whatever.
Pez is like, quit talking about my security system.
The reason why Pez is bringing up L.A. is because he went and visited L.A. a couple times recently.
A couple times.
Okay.
Last year, it's just an eye-opening experience, man. I mean,
like all the homelessness and shit like that.
Yeah, like I was saying last podcast, it's like 2 different spectrums.
Yeah.
Homelessness, wealthy. It's almost it's eye opening, and the houses is like, you could buy a house there. It's probably a $40,000 house here. It's like 200. Well,
no,
500 million.
I was
500,000.
Yeah,
it's because we stayed at a duplex that was like 1.1 million, and you'd be like, what the heck? This is just a regular home,
Right.
But where you stayed at the Hollywood Hills, though, right? Whenever you went.
Yeah, so like we stayed in Hollywood with the band, and we stayed like some dirt hotels.
Yeah.
But it was incredibly expensive.
Outrageous.
And we stayed on Sunset, but I mean, like we lived it. We lived it.
What do you think the future is for LA? Because Doug, my brother-in-law, works for Marvel Studios.
Okay.
And he's not going to make it in, which sucks.
He might.
In the future.
No, wait.
everybody's.
I'm going to
getting
say
out.
this because he works for he's got something going on, and he's trying to get this
He's up
position.
for promotion.
He's up for a promotion, and cancel culture You don't want to get caught up in it.
Oh, so he's not even going to come on in general.
He's not going to come on. And I totally, the smartest thing I've ever, it's very intelligent.
He said not right now, but in the future when he gets things stabilized, he wants to come on because he works directly with Marvel Studios.
I don't blame him at all.
Oh, hell no, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose my job because of some little podunk podcast.
Hey,
either.
what? This ain't no POTUS, rockin' buddies, bud.
It doesn't
kidding.
matter, man.
But
You can't say anything if you're in there.
Yeah. He's coming home. He's coming home Friday, and he lives there. He lives, and he brought me into the warehouse of the Marvel warehouse, which is like totally like just desolate. You would not believe it. And they got Spider-Man's costume, Thor's hammers, Doctor Strange's cape, and
Dude,
all this cool
the
stuff.
thing that blew me away, what he talked about Doctor Strange's cape, is how much they were a piece.
Yeah.
They're made out of Persian silk,
and
each one was like $100,000 a pop. And he had 5
For
of
the
them.
cape?
yeah,
For just the cape.
Yeah,
He had 5 of them.
I had to sign it when I walked in there. I had to sign a thing that I would not take any video, no nothing. And we're talking about a place that you would never have thought, and that's how they wanted it.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's just there, and he's travels a lot and all that stuff. But he lives over in L.A. and it's just amazing. It's mind. I was telling Matt, it's just mind blowing, man, because you come from here. You go over there, and you realize, and I think a lot of people over here, I don't mean to get off topic, I think a lot of people over here, they live in their bubble.
Oh yeah.
They think
sure.
this is what it is, and this is all it is. No. There's a big world out there that people don't realize. Like, open your mind up a little bit.
Sure.
I think that's what we deal with in Southern Illinois, and I don't mean to get political, and it's kind of going.
We don't
that
do
way.
politics.
We don't do politics that way, but open your eyes, people.
I agree.
It's a huge world out there.
Yeah.
You can tell a big difference just from living here and going to St. Louis,
Yeah.
Evansville,
Well, shit,
Indianapolis, any of those areas, you can tell a huge difference just
You go to
from that.
McLeansboro to Mount Vernon, Illinois, and
Yeah.
it's a huge difference.
It is. I mean, it is, but I'm just saying, like, Southern Illinois in general, you go to St. Louis, that seems like the big city.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not the big city. I mean, really.
Matt, do you remember when I first moved back from Chicago? You may have. I was like 7th grade, 6th grade. I can't remember, but I was like decked out in Chicago Bulls stuff and
Yeah.
just all this stuff. And I'm like, "Hey, bub, what you doing, Bubby? Hey, shit,
Yeah,
won't you come?"
you're from Kankakee, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yep. All my family's from up around Kankakee, Bourbonnais,
Yep.
Chicago area.
I remember that.
But when I came down here, it was like nobody called it pop. It was Sodies.
Yeah.
Soda. Sody pop.
So,
and-
I've always called it pop, and people are like, "Are you from Chicago?" And I go, "No."
Yeah.
I go, "But my mom and but I've always called it like, hey, I want some pop."
Yeah. It's like, so like my cousin Bill is always like, we're hoodnecks. So we call it Sody pop.
Sody pop.
Pop
Meet
soda.
him in the middle.
But that's only 5 hours away.
Yeah.
So you think of the culture differences between, like,
is.
I grew up in like a mostly Hispanic community in San Ann, and it was just like, one of my best friends was Rolando Rodriguez. What's up, bro? And he lives out in California right now. But when I came down here, it was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
They're driving tractors for fun.
Everybody needs that time after school to get out and experience life,
Culture different.
a culture shock,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
because it brings you back to reality. Because I mean, you're the bubble you lived in growing up is not the bubble that
So
people.
I mean, like,
normally live in.
let me add to that, please.
Yeah.
Because like my brother and I, we grew up in McLeansboro and we went to Carbondale, but then we cut the cord and we moved to Chicago.
Yep.
And you talk about just culture shock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, no one gives a flying shit about you up here. And it's just like the only thing you give a frick about is just trying to get on the tram or whatever
Yeah.
to get to your job or you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, like, dude, it's do or die up there.
And you better leave early enough to get
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
Nobody
So-
gives a shit about traffic.
So,
a big thing.
Andrew and I, we lived off West Lawrence. It was just right off like the 90-94
Yeah.
up in Chicago. And we were 5 minutes from Victory Records. Took us 55 minutes to get there every single morning.
yeah.
God.
And we would just be in gridlock traffic, and you're just like that was every day. We're like, okay, cool.
My
All right.
brother-in-law, yeah.
Feel that.
And then
Basically, you could walk there faster.
yeah, I mean, you probably could have. And then one day we're just like, man, screw this freaking traffic shit. Let's take the train. We took a train. Took an hour and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We go, all right, yeah, let's just get in the car. I'm like, fuck this shit.
At least you can listen to what you want.
Yeah. So to that point, like we would listen to Van Halen every single morning. Van Halen, best of, and just like David Lee Roth, because if it's not David Lee Roth, it's not Van Halen.
You're damn right.
Bullshit.
You're damn right.
You can't put down the Red Rocker.
Fuck Van
That
Halen.
is a lie. That is a
Van
lie.
So listen to me. I'm commanding this mic
Bullshit.
right now. Okay. If it's not David Lee Roth, it's not Van Halen. But
I'm
listen
on
to the
that
deal.
team.
So it was the middle of fucking winter, and we're trying to get down to Victory Records, and we get in my fucking Dodge Neon, and
The worst possible car you could be in to be in
and
Chicago.
that's all we had, baby. And so and
The
and
fucking
anyway,
Forerunner.
so I know, man. I'm like, God, we said our prayers every day. We're like, just get us there. Come on, man. so anyway, like we get in my car, but we notice like, okay, well this fucker's not locked, and we just go, oh, well my fucking stereo's gone too. No. Well, they stole my stereo and the best of.
Oh,
That's because you didn't fucking Hagar on it. That's your problem.
If they had Hagar on it, they would have put it in the fucking seat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got a fist bump.
Fucking running with the devil, baby.
I know. You're right. So anyway, my brother and I, we're driving on the freeway, and it just, you can hear a fucking pin drop. Just driving 10 and 2.
You can hear all the potholes too.
And I'm like, I go, man, this drive was a lot better with Van Halen. And like, dude, Unchained, Running with the Devil. We heard everything. Ain't nothing but love. And I'm just going, oh man, this sucks. So it was kind of like reality hit us like just smack dab in the face. I'm like, man, so Dodge Neon going down to Victory Records, just.
So how bad was it when Eddie
he's
died?
like, that's the point when we move back
it
home.
sucked. Like, man, dude, that one kind of like took a little piece of my heart.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Well, Unchained. I mean, I know it's a Roth song, and I'm a Hagar fan, but I do enjoy Roth songs. Unchained is my favorite Van Halen song.
Dude,
Oh, it's
It's a jam.
it's a staple. I mean, like,
no one has played or will play guitar like that.
The first,
Ever.
you remember Zach Combs?
Yeah.
The first time I ever seen Van Halen was like 2002. Me, Zach, and LP.
Yeah.
Zach's mom was battling cancer and stuff, and I remember Zach called me and goes, hey, man, been a long time since we've been to her mom's house. It's like, hey, mom wants you to come over, and she was battling breast cancer, and she handed us the keys to her Cadillac and 3 Van Halen tickets.
That's awesome.
And we drove to St. Louis, me, Derek Johnson, Zach Combs.
holy shit.
And we was like, I don't know how many I was close enough I could see Eddie playing.
I remember you guys going to that.
And it was like the best. I mean, Hagar played, and a Shinedown opened up, which they actually killed it. Like they opened up and
they're
tore.
a great band.
Dude, he's got pipes. But I remember I got so stoned because they were passing this girl had her shirt off, and I'm 17. I'm just sitting there like, oh my god, her boobies are everywhere.
You're like not even watching the show.
I know. And she's like, this is a white boy. And me and Combs are doing our thing, And Derek goes, well, who's driving home? I was like, you know. They had all kinds of road construction. You knew Derek was always nervous as shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just
Like a little chihuahua.
I know. We got on the road.
Shaking.
We got on the road. We got on the road. He's like, and there was all kinds of road construction, so shit was veering everywhere. We're leaving the Scott Trade Center. He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. And me and Combs is just blasted, sitting there like, we're still running with the devil. What are you talking about?
Yep.
So we have this segment on here, and this is a good segue to do this. We ask everybody who comes on the podcast, and it can't be something that you currently listening to. It has to be a guilty pleasure, like something that nobody think in the world that you would ever listen to. Like I personally love Hall & Oates. Like I can get down on some Hall & Oates every once in a while. Do either one of you fellers got something that
Be real. Don't be embarrassed.
No, it's okay. I mean, like personally from
This
high
is an
from
open
high
environment.
from high school, like the
We
first,
haven't heard your Skylar.
the first Creed album. I actually enjoyed that album.
Oh God,
What's your Skylar?
I get a hard on for the first Creed album too. Honestly.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Okay,
I got some
went
other
to
ones though.
Yeah. Okay.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So
We got more podcasts.
who wants to go first?
I mean, I probably got somebody figured out, but
Go ahead.
I'm a sucker for pop punk and probably Simple Plan.
Simple
Man,
Plan.
you and Pez.
Oh,
I mean,
Guilty pleasures
I
are
mean,
right
like,
on the
so
nose
Each other
together.
off.
now,
22.
Pez is beating on the fucking table.
Come on. So, like, you know, the crazy thing. So, hey, I gotta like piggyback on the Hall & Oates comment. So, I work for the company that one of the partners is really close friends with John Oates, and at our company, we have this building. We have like 4 floors, but we converted the first floor into a bar. It's called the Tiny Bar. It can only hold 15 people. It's like, you know, we're talking downtown St. Louis.
Yeah.
Tiny bar. Okay, great, cool. Well, anyway, Aaron Perlett from Atomic Junk Shot. Aaron, I love you. He's one of the partners for Elasticity, and he's friends with John Oates. And got down to Tiny Bar, and I'm like, I love Hall & Oates.
Making my dreams come true.
Exactly.
I can see him. His eyes are getting so big over here.
Man eater, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I get down to the bar after I get finished working, and I'm like, oh man, what's going on, guys? How we doing? I'm like, all right, I need a pound of vodka just to get right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do that. And anyway, he was like, hey, he goes, we're playing at Scott Trade Center with Tears for Fears, or I can't remember who they were playing with. They came to town a couple times, and he's like, oh, we'll be there if you want to, come down. Just let me know. I'll give you some backstage passes or whatever. I'm like, cool. Well, I found out that my mom had breast cancer, and it kind of put the kibosh on.
Oh, for sure.
Doing all that. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything. Like it knocked the wind out of my sails. But I got to hang out, drink drinks with Hall & Oates and everything, and I'm just like, it just happened so quick that I'm just like, is this real life right now? And so anyway, I did go to the show when they played with Tears for Fears, and my buddy Aaron goes, hey. He goes, I had John autograph a T-shirt for you. And I go, oh, man, that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
So I went down, and I got the T-shirt, and Aaron, he's a practical joker, but he made John go, to Denny, sorry, your band sounds like Fall Out Boy.
Oh shit! That's awesome.
Tell me you framed it.
Dude, I still got that fucking T-shirt. It's in a tote, and
that's awesome.
I've got the picture on my Instagram. But I'm just like, blasted, just holding this T-shirt up from John Oates. Like, hey,
I don't give a fuck what he said about my band.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, man, I idolize that guy. But he's like, hey, man, sorry, your band sounds like Fall Out Boy.
You should have replied to him and said Daryl was better.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Daryl's
man,
house. I'd rather go to Daryl's house.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, guilty pleasure. I love Hall & Oates, but I'm a pop punk fan. So Simple Plan. Yeah.
What about you, Jones?
That's funny.
You had enough
Be
time.
real, Jones.
Probably my favorite singer in the entire world is probably Adele.
Really?
Yeah.
Never would have picked that.
Yep. In the entire, I think a great female vocalist is the best vocals in the entire world.
Oh, for sure.
Like I think any woman that can sing really great tops any kind of dude, metal, regular singing. I think a woman can, it emotionally and mood wise moves people more.
Oh, yeah.
She's amazing.
And that's probably my top, and then my next would be
Yeah, keep giving it to us.
probably Beastie Boys.
Oh, man.
Ain't no guilty pleasure. We play
fucking Beastie Boys.
No, I
That's
mean,
hot.
I know, but it's just
you planned it.
Yeah.
it's just like completely different than my first pick. But
Yeah.
those are probably my two top.
One song that you turned me on a long time ago, many, many moons ago, was Stare Too Long by COC. And that's when I first started listening to COC.
Amazing.
And I told my wife, I said, we both get hammered, you know, and I was like, if I ever die, this
song
is a song
that can move somebody.
This is a song I want played at my funeral.
Yeah,
It's a jam.
That is a great tune.
it is. Any song that can emotionally like
Take you in.
completely move you from one place to another is an amazing song, and that is nothing like anything else that they do.
For sure.
Yeah, it's so
But
different.
that song is just like
nice.
it grabs you,
So
and it pulls you in, and
So-
you can't help it. Nobody can help that. It just does it.
So me and you got a lot of history with Mike Hart,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to go put a beer on his fence post all the time.
Yeah.
And one of the last memories I have with Mike before he passed, we were at a Clutch and COC concert at Pops, and this is before Mike knew he had cancer, and I'm sitting up there, and me and Jess are up there, we're watching Clutch, and I've seen Clutch like 8 times, and I'm a bigger COC fan, and I look down and I see Pepper and Woody just sitting there next to the merch table. And I look at Mike Hart. I said, babe, I got to talk to Mike for a second. And I look at Mike, and the last time me and Mike actually hung out was with Pepper Keenan and Woody Weatherman. And we took pictures with them, and I remember Pepper was kind of pissed because he was hitting on this chick. And he's like, dude, I'm trying to work on something here. I was like, dude, you guys are like my heroes. Like, this is like even with Mudhouse, this is the style I play. This is the kind of muddy, nasty, heavy, you know, kind of bluesy shit that I enjoy playing the most. I was like, can I please have a picture with you? And he's like, dude, it's cool. And like they threw their arms around me, and then Mike took my picture, then all that stuff, and
Then they got laid.
It's awesome, man.
yeah,
Dude,
man, dude, Woody was the coolest. Pepper was in his own world because he was trying to get laid, but Woody was super. It was a great show, man, and they played Stare Too Long, and that's
awesome.
That was super cool.
Dude, so like Mike and Matt, they're my cousin. I don't know if
I didn't know that Mike and Matt were your cousins.
Yeah, like I think like second cousin, but through my mom, and you know I love those guys. I mean, we used to go to school together and everything like that. But one memory I remember with Mike was whenever you were living down South Hancock on those apartments.
Oh, is that what Cooksey?
Yep. And dude, like,
Yeah.
I went down there and we're like just drinking beer and having a good time, but Mike and Chris stopped by. And dude, like, you talk about just like stories, and they were saying, like, I remember Chris was like hammered, but he was like, yeah, not that guy. But he was, I remember the story when they were like, dude, we saw Pantera when Pantera was Pantera when Pantera was
Before
Pantera.
Before
Dude, if we
Pantera.
could ever get Stroll to come on the books and talk
Dude.
about some of that stuff, I won't repeat it because he won't be my friend no more. But like the shit we seen at that apartment, you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Yeah.
But dude, like he told me the story just like the crowd was he was like, I just felt like I was in a sea. But he said like everything was just moving back and forth, and they were just like waiting for Pantera and but I remember just crushing beers with Mike and Chris, and they were telling that story, and that's something I will always remember and always hold dear because like Mike was awesome.
Dude, Mike was
Mike was the absolute best.
Yeah.
and it's not like I don't know, man. Like the last 4 years have been pretty tough because we lost Scoob and we lost Mike Hart, and it's like, man, that's the whole reason why I went and started having doctor's appointments. Like, because Scoob had a glioblastomas brain tumor and just came out of nowhere, and within a month he was dead. I remember I went and seen him in the hospital, and I was just heartbroken. And then with Mike,
No,
you know,
like he was about ready to die before I even knew anything was going on.
yeah. And with Mike called me straight up and told me what was going on. And man, I remember he's like, dude, you and Jones and all the boys always were so cool, and we always did this stuff. And he always came to shows. I remember a time me and Stroll went, and this I can tell because it was really funny, but we bought a blow up midget doll one time at Hurley's, and Mike Hart goes, we pulled in, and me and Stroll pulled up in that Black Ranger. And he goes, what the hell are you boys doing? And Stroll's like, we got to blow up midget doll.
the show.
Hey, and you remember the time with the rubber fist?
Oh Jesus! In the cradle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Show up with a rubber fist and a baby cradle.
Yeah, that's terrible stuff. But
Yep.
Dirty Hall was at that show. Oh,
That dude, I don't know, Mike, man. He was the dude though. Like it didn't matter what you needed, he was there.
That's a tough one, man. I mean, I don't mean to get somber on any of this, but man, that was a real tough. Because he always treated everybody fair.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He did.
And that seems like the dudes that always seemed to, like Scoob. He never referred to anybody as like your name. It was like, hey, buddy. You know, it was never anything like that. And I got the pleasure of playing in a band with him for over 10 years.
I know. It's like the best people always end up getting the worst hands.
It is.
And I've got pictures actually in my wall in my man cave from Final Reckoning days with me, you, and Stroll and Luke and Scooby. I need to get some of those to you. And it's just like, man, we were throwing down, and Scoob. I remember that's when you had your boy, and you guys you went to GT, and that kind of fell out, but which was a killer band name. Final Reckoning was a great band name. But no,
We got one life to live, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. And whatever we make with it, we make with it.
Yeah, I mean,
kinda
dude,
really
at
sad.
the end of the day,
I don't mean to
like,
get sad about
no,
it, but
no, I mean, like, you know, to your point, I mean, like, we all have an expiration date on us, and you know, you gotta make the best of it, whether you are, you know,
working in a factory.
I mean, like, no matter what you're doing, like, if you're happy, buddy, that's all that counts. And you know, it's just like you can do a million things, you can travel a million places, but I mean, like,
Exactly. And
You know.
props off to you for doing what you wanted to do. A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people on this.
God damn, there it went again.
God dang,
Trying to
Lennon.
hold that burp in.
Holy crap, dude.
You
Was that
just
a
let
burp?
them out.
That sounded like a goddamn sneeze,
They would
didn't
be less loud if you just let them out.
I know,
Just
man.
open your mouth hole. Quit squeezing
Like
your lips
fucking
together.
Free Willy over here.
I thought he was in the mic. It got so quiet. I thought he was crying. I was like, Jesus, here we go.
Boys, it's getting tough. It's getting tough.
Like,
It's been an emotional episode.
well, camera 4's cut for a while now.
Oh, it's seriously like a fucking well going off.
cut the camera.
No, but
I thought I could pop it with my big ass cheeks.
Let's get back on track.
there's two people I've met. And one's you. Here recently. And the
You've
other-
only met two people.
Well, there's two people and my brother-in-law that did what they wanted to do. And hats off to you guys to do that. And I mean,
Ask my wife.
I
I,
mean,
do what I
honestly.
want to do all the time.
that means that's focus, that's determination, and I'm impressed.
Well, thank you. First off, I appreciate you guys having me on here, and if I had any advice, like, I'm still figuring it out. You know what I
course,
mean?
we all are.
Still young.
You know, it's like, you know, God willing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
like you were saying, like, you know, we're a ticking time bomb. But I'm like, man, the only thing I live for right now is my kids. And I'm like, I'm just trying to, like, I want to make them proud, but I'm like busting my ass, and I'm just trying to like do the right things and just follow my heart, because
Right.
like I love designing. I know what I want to do, and like I found my pocket. You know what I mean? It's taken a lot of trial and error, and just like
Of course.
I failed many times.
Of course.
But you know, at the end of the day, like, you can do whatever you want, and like if you know in your heart that, like, you know exactly what you fucking want to do it, because it's out there. And buddy, like, I'm so happy because, like, I'm incredibly blessed, like, and I'm like fucking pumped that I get to get behind a computer every day and design for somebody new every single day. And whether it's like app designs or website designs or Trippy Red or Juice World or what, a Hot Topic or what, I mean, like, I'm doing it. And
You're
like,
doing it, man.
And I'm like, and I'm so freaking pumped every single day when I wake up. So anyway, that's my thing.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna end this, but right now, but we're going on to.
Whenever you want, Bob.
It
You
ain't
don't
me.
ever tell that in the podcast, by the
Well,
way.
I just want to say it's a pleasure. And honestly, and I feel like, we're Facebook friends now, so we're going to be,
Right, we're gonna be hanging out next weekend, right?
Hey, what are you doing tomorrow, man?
Skylar is hoping to God that
Like, you
he
wanna
hits
get
you up
lunch?
more than him.
you want
You want to get lunch tomorrow?
Real talk
really,
though.
it's
I mean,
great.
yeah,
It's
thank
great
you.
to meet you,
but
man.
what do you guys? I mean, like, hey, as far as like what you want to do with your podcast, like what what are you gonna do?
Well, my thing on it is that I don't really look too far ahead. Like I always try to calm his ass down.
We're a couple weeks ahead. He does.
But
I
Sorry,
I love the dynamic here though.
Well,
I'm starting to see
my
it.
thing is that through life you kind of look for things that you might be good at, and this is one thing I really enjoy doing. I mean, we bugged the fuck out of Skylar. He's like,
Yeah, we
this
did,
guy-
man. Last week.
Yeah, they do.
Hey, but this is
Real
fun
talk.
though.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
this
is
really
fun.
is.
But the
I'm
thing,
glad they bugged the fuck out of me, though.
because he don't have anybody else bugging him. Don't let him fucking lie to you.
I definitely do. I've got
No,
5
but-
shows a week bugging the fuck out of me. But hey, you're my favorite bugs.
But no, man. But no, it's fun to talk about shit that I like to talk about. But not just that. It's like it's just something different that I've never done before that I've always wanted to do, and just I'm a huge podcast fan. Like I listen to
Me too.
sci-fi killer shit. It's mostly shit about death.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Same.
mostly what I because I love death metal.
Yeah.
But not just that, but I listen to everything in between, just whatever. And me and him when we talked about starting this, it wasn't just going to be solely about music. And that's kind of why I didn't really care. We got off on the dad subject because
Totally.
it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like we want to bring guys in that we know that. Excuse me, I didn't free willy that one. No, but like we just really wanted.
dang, it stinks too.
I did have garlic toast.
Right. God dang. You right. I'm sorry. Let's get serious.
Hey,
again.
man.
Get serious. Go ahead. Get serious.
I just you made me lose it, Pez.
No, man.
Get
I mean,
real.
we just want to do something that we're not able to play as much as we could.
that has nothing. That has nothing to do with the podcast.
Well, it don't. But I mean, me and you talk on the phone. We talk on the phone. All
He
the time.
calls me 18 times a day.
He says that every goddamn podcast.
I'll pull
That's
up
not
the
truth.
fucking
You
call
called me
logs.
3 times today, you jackwagon. I'm like, what the fuck do you want? I
Hey
will
man,
say it like that.
Hey man, pick up my kids. I'm tired of their shit.
No.
Hey, do you guys ever? Hey, I got one more question for you guys though. The kids, the people with kids here, not you because you're still a kid. But no, seriously, like I was telling my wife, like me and her, like we clean religiously at our house. And it's like I'm yelling at Jess like through the house, not at her. Like with her,
Sure.
Like these kids are fucking nasty. I'm like going through the house with white wipes and shit and wiping off my little girl like she's a picker flicker, and I don't know what's going on. Like she's so cute and she's adorable and she's beautiful, but I'm finding these little bitty fucking boogers everywhere, and I'm going through with a magic eraser, just like dipping it in water, just scrubbing it off. Do you guys ever find yourself like cussing at your kids
Oh, every day.
I mean,
every day?
dude, every day. Like, funny you said that because like I gave my son our fly swatter before I came here, and he took the handle and he just rubbed it against the wall. And I wasn't watching him, but I'm like, man, that made some waves and like on the paint. And I go, oh, buddy. I'm like, hey, pal. I'm like, give me that. He's like, Daddy, you pay with me. You pay with me all day. Don't go to work. And I'm like, I got to go to this podcast. And he's like, you pay with me. And
What is
like, so-
that?
yeah, he's like, whatever. He's like, you play with me all day. And I'm like, all right, buddy. So anyway, I gave him the Mr. Clean magic eraser, and like we had to like rub the wall before Matt
Oh,
came
those
over.
things are a godsend,
dude,
right?
Dude, they're amazing. Like I'm telling you straight up, like
Just
you
dip
know,
them in water and wring them out.
Yep. I'm like, dude, we're gonna like kind of like spin this podcast into like maybe some like mothers that are gonna listen to us like as far
This
as
is like
cleaning
fucking
product.
dad
Yeah,
help
by,
here.
the, by the
I'm
time
telling
it's
you.
over, it's gonna be like parenting tips.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you guys gonna reach a wider audience. Here we go. Let's go.
Dude, magic erasers have saved my life a few times. Like I'm sitting there like, these are not an erasable marker on this fucking wall. And I'm looking at the kid and she's looking at me and I'm like, shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at you, girl. I mean, you're so goddamn beautiful. I
mean,
Jesus
so-
Christ. I want to spank. I can't
Yeah,
spank you.
I can't spank you.
Jesus shit.
Yeah.
Oh, get that magic eraser, Jess.
Yeah.
Get it out. If it comes off, she's safe.
Yeah.
If not, I'm busting her ass.
I think
So real talk though.
Like
I mean,
you're.
like-
This is life and death right here. If this comes
These
off the
colors
wall, you're
do
all right.
not run.
Your name right there, don't. Hey, I'm just a pro tip, by the way. Speaking of magic erasers, do not try and wipe your ass with them. Don't. Just don't try.
You've done that?
Yeah. Well, because it's like streaks, and I figured it would get the streaks off, but it's just like it's like wiping a marker. It just kept coming out. It didn't work,
Hey,
so
it's-
just don't try it.
It'll save some of them chicks like some money on the bleaching.
Telling you. No, it don't. It doesn't. Still looks like a dark hole down there.
Black hole, son.
Shit.
Yes, you pull.
That was another one that killed me was Chris Cornell.
Oh God, I don't even want to get into that, man. I locked myself in the house for like a week.
that was a bad.
That was a bad
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. It seems like
still
this
to this
year
day.
has been a terrible year for musicians. I thought about laying it down.
Well, I think depression got a lot of people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Motherfucker stuck in the house all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and anxiety. We
Well, hell, can relate.
yeah,
I
we were
mean,
talking about that.
I mean, whatever you wanted to.
Yeah, my anxiety spiked when this shit, and especially when my wife got COVID. My wife got COVID, man. I was literally having an anxiety attack every day because I was like, I cannot get this shit. I cannot get this shit.
His hands were bleeding.
I was taking like three
Oh.
showers a day. I was, they were cracking.
Was that because you were worried for?
It was more or less. It was my wife was in the bedroom for like 4 or 5 days, like didn't get out of bed, and here I was like, okay, if I get this shit, who's going to take care of my son?
Right.
Okay, I got you. That's what I was
Yeah,
wondering.
and I really could give shit, care less about work and all that stuff, and the guys gave me shit, which they were joking. They're like, oh, I had to stay till 6 o'clock because of you, and I'm like, I didn't know he was joking. I flipped the shit. I'm like, you do not know what I'm doing. I am like playing like the man, like cleaning the house,
He actually had to cook fucking dinner for once.
making
Oh,
3 meals a
that mac
day.
and cheese, dog. That was hard.
But we did
Just
not
cut
get
some
it.
hot dogs and throw it in with it.
We
It's a
we
meal.
didn't get it, but this COVID shit is just.
I know what you mean because my whole family had it, and it went through.
You realize that it's real.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You know?
it's real. It really didn't affect my family in like too bad of a way or anything.
Right.
I had 5 people in my family get it, and they all recovered fine. I mean, they were sick, and then I'm sure I probably had it too, but I was probably asymptomatic because it was around Thanksgiving time.
Right.
Have any of you guys had the shot yet, the vaccination?
Nope.
Nope, not
This
going
guy's
to.
lucky.
I have.
get it. He's like, look at me, I got my first.
No,
shot
seriously,
today."
dude.
I'm not going to.
I did. Work. I guess I'm essential.
Which one did you get? Just
I got the
just
Pfizer.
curious. Pfizer.
The Pfizer, and they made us sit for about 20 minutes to make sure I didn't die.
Yeah.
But seriously,
Gotta
the worst
love that.
the worst part about it, man, was the next day. Like I wasn't sick or nothing, but it felt like a goddamn horse kicked me in the arm. No shit, dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't hardly lift my arm above my shoulder. This is day 3, and it's still tender. But I guess I'm.
Wait, you got it 3 days ago?
Yeah. Like, well, we'll say
Why
2.
am I in this
get out of
room?
here.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I got it.
You're supposed to disclose that.
No, I got it Sunday, so it's 2
I
days.
thought
ago.
we had to sign a form before we came in here, right?
No, it's but no, like I don't know, man. They offered it to me, and I was like super against it. My wife, we're definitely not going to give it to the kids.
Yeah.
But like, I want to go around my mom, and I don't want to give it to her.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
That's my dad too.
My work is pushing it hard. Like they're free. They want everybody to get it and everything. But I don't know. Like we just decided until it's been around longer.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
gonna-
for
not
sure.
gonna do it.
my
Well,
my
see-
dad's
Go ahead.
My dad's got black lung. I've said it a few times, and from the coal mines for like 35 years. And he's like, son, I can't see my grandson when you're even going out playing shows. And I'm like, that shit, he's hurting. I know he's hurting because he misses his grandkid. And I'm just like, you know what? I'll do whatever it takes, you know? And that's just me. I mean, I know we're speeding this process up quicker than shit.
Really fast.
And it shouldn't be. But I at the point where I'm like, if we all turn into zombies, fuck it.
But
that's what I mean. I don't see I don't know. I don't see anyone negatively either way. For me personally, I just choose like no, because I think I've already had it.
Yeah.
I know, like, we were all there at the same time, and
you still have to do all the like social distance and wear a mask and everything after you get your shot, though, right?
Yeah.
So what's different?
well, see, and even if you get the shot, like, you can still carry. So it's basically like they're, I don't know. In a way, I feel like they're, in a way, like trying to pressurize everybody into you have to take
that's the
shot.
only way that the shot would work is if everyone took the shot.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel in a way that they're like trying to. I'm not trying to get political. It doesn't matter.
No.
Go for it.
But I just don't. I just no. I'm not at all, because I don't want to get off on that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they're trying to push it off on everybody, because if you don't take the shot, everybody with the shot can't get it, but they can still carry it, and you can get it.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, because if they have a cure for it, then shouldn't it be able to stop it? You know what I'm saying? Like, from spreading.
Yeah.
This is something I'm going to talk about on my show here very soon.
I heard the worst thing
That's
ever.
just my opinion. Like, if it's an actual cure, then you should not be able to carry it to other people. Also,
I heard the worst thing.
even the flu vaccine is like, if you get sick, you're not supposed to be able to carry it to other people.
Yeah.
I heard they're gonna.
Why is this that way? You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know. It's weird.
I heard it's going to be around like the flu.
Yeah, it's going to.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's what I think. It will be around forever, like the flu, probably for the rest of our existence.
But
the COVID virus,
maybe unless it fades out. But what I'm saying is, like, if this vaccine is so effective as what they're saying, then it should be as effective as the flu vaccine, to where you can't spread it to other people.
I agree.
Right? That's my only thing.
The thing with COVID is that it's been in animals for hundreds of years.
Oh yeah,
Like, it
doesn't affect animals. That's what,
and that's what they're figuring out.
You know
the reason I'll tell you the reason why I took it, and this is straight from Uncle Lou. Uncle Lou, as he's worked for SSM Health for 25, 30 years. And I told him one night, I was like, man, I got the opportunity to take it. They asked me at work. I don't know. I was on the fence. I was like, dude, I don't want to take it, because I feel like I don't think it's going to do me any favors. He's like, dude, I've talked to so many doctors from my job and doing this. And he's like, dude, I'm telling you, if you don't take it, you're a fool. And then that kind of worked on me a little bit. And I kind of, everybody Googles everything, fuck. You got a bad toenail.
Right.
You're going to look it up, like how to pick it off. But he just kept telling me, he's like, it's up to you. But he goes, I'm telling you, the people I've talked to, he goes, and this is your own decision. And not to throw Lou under the bus by any means. I love that guy. Don't quit the band, Lou.
that's it. I'm out.
Yeah.
He's like, I heard your podcast the other day.
Yeah. Which he was on 2 episodes ago. But he kind of like helped me get along to where I was like comfortable with it, because if Lou's hearing this from his work and he is dealing with that every day,
the main thing that makes me feel good about it is that it's not one company.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
if it was just McDonald's,
if it was just
out.
Johnson and Johnson,
that
shit's a joke.
I agree with you.
But since it is several different companies, then you kind of have an idea that maybe it's all right. I don't know.
Who knows anything? Who knows?
I mean, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I say it. Maybe it's good. I don't know.
I was sitting there in line like a sheep and a cattle, dude. Like I'm standing outside and it is cold. And we're outside the high school gym, and they're herding us all in, and I'm sitting there thinking like, these motherfuckers are trying to make us sterile. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is like utopia shit, and I'm just like
Zombie shit. Has this
It
changed
just
business
started,
for you?
buddy.
What?
Has this changed business for you? Like as far as
Honestly, no. COVID. Actually, COVID has been a blessing in disguise for me, and I feel bad because I know that's negatively affected a ton of people.
Yeah.
And so I try to be very careful with what I say when it comes to COVID, because like I know it's real, I know it's a bad thing,
Yeah.
so I was. I've lived in St. Louis for about 13 years. Our offices are downtown St. Louis off, 10th and Locust, and
yeah.
we would go down there and work every day, downtown. But with that, do you want me to do this?
there you go.
Yeah, sorry about that. So with all that being considered, like, we were forced to work from home. And, we're just like, okay, well, we're going to work from home. Well, if you want to come to the office, it's optional. Okay, great, fine, dandy. But, we've been busier than ever, with my, my current job. And it's been,
Good.
just busy.
Well, as far as the band stuff go, has that slowed down a lot? Because no concerts aren't happening, merch.
It's funny you brought that up, because like I feel like that, there's no concerts, there's like kind of, there's no live shows or anything, but
Right.
like these bands had to kind of like retooled like how they think and how they sell and
Yeah.
how they operate as like a company. And then so we're just like, all right, well, we're living in a digital world, let's make e-commerce sites and everything like that, because like that's how these bands are gonna like operate and make ends meet. So like, we did a lot of work on as far, like with the apparel side of things, and just like staying just active on social media to stay relevant.
Right.
That's kind of like the big thing. But I mean, like a lot of these bands are like got nailed and just were hurting because they couldn't tour. They had to cancel and cancel.
And that's most of the money right there.
Yeah,
That
I
is
mean, there's a good chunk of money, because like you're making X amount per show, and then you're also netting like whatever you're selling with merch and everything. So it's rough.
I think with the COVID, this is my perspective on it, is like with all these bands being laid off for so long, I'm expecting a lot of killer records this year.
Same. I've been thinking that all year.
Yeah, like
All
all
year I've been
all
thinking
this
that.
time off, I better hear some badass shit this year.
You should be
Not
able
some
to.
rush bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be able to, but it's just seeing whether or not the bands will take advantage of it. Because I can see both ways. Because
Seen as a break.
Well, I can see both ways, because within my band, like, we went through a major downfall, and then now we're pulling out and we're like gonna come out better.
Well,
So
I can,
it
I
was
can-
like
I
it was
can
like
relate to
it
that.
was like a depressing and
Well,
like
Zach
major
Clark.
downfall time for us for a long time.
Well, that was the same with us, man. Like I've got, like me and Unc kind of collaborate, but I write most of the riffs for our band, and we were like headstrong, like floating hard, hitting it hard, and then next thing you know, Tim had COVID,
Yep.
and then Unc's got sad news. His nephew got killed in an ATV accident, and he had to go to a funeral, and there was so many people there. I actually went there and I turned around and went home because nobody was wearing a mask, and it was crazy. Yeah. And I was like, my main thing is my kids.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to turn around and go back home. And I called Unc. I said, hey, man, I was there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Had to go back. And then it was next thing you know that I was sick. I didn't have it. I got tested, but I was still sick. So we're missing all this time rehearsing and going over stuff.
Oh hell, your other band lost a drummer.
Well, that's not important.
That's what I'm saying. Like we went through that. That's what I'm saying. Like we went through that downfall in Abaddon.
Yeah.
As far as like all of our momentum just like stopped, and it was like everything stopped, and then we were like kind of going through just the motions for a little while, and then it was like nothing's getting better. So everything just went downhill more and more to where things started like falling apart. And then just now we're like the ones that were still around, we're like, we're not going to let this just end. So let's come out of this really strong. And that's why we went and did this new recording and everything.
Yeah. I mean, like, and with that, you know, we were kind of like struggling on like what we're trying to work on. What do we, you know, what straws are we grasping for? Like, we really didn't know. And, you know, being a band manager, like I try to like stay in my lane because like I don't want to overstep, because I'm like, you know, I'm the 5th or 6th member. I'm doing air quotes if people can't see me, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's like like you guys have to figure it out internally, you know, with yourselves, and then kind of like, all right, come to me as like a collective decision. Like, okay, this is what we want to do. This is where we're wanting to go. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's retool that. Let's figure out, let's plug and play, let's pivot, let's tweak, let's do this. Not tweak on meth, but like tweak the system and seeing what's...
That could be cool.
Tweak in a positive way.
Hey, you never know. Positively tweaking.
Positively tweaking. But I mean, like, kind of tweak where we're going and everything like that. Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, I was really worried about them for, you know, a few months because like they're trying to like figure out some internal issues and everything. But like, I feel like that they kind of came out smelling like a rose, and they're about ready to drop these tracks that are going to be some bangers.
What I've heard is nasty.
And dude, like we've got some stuff in the works, and I mean I'm more excited than I've ever been. And you know, maybe COVID's to tip our hat to. I don't know. You never know.
But don't you think every band goes through that though?
Yeah, I mean you almost have to. I think
it's like a rite of passage,
right?
And I have 2 questions. Your band name.
Abaddon.
Spell it for everybody.
Abaddon.
Now, question number 2. What the fuck does that mean? Because that's an awesome word.
Google it. You'll see.
God damn it. All right, I gotta Google it.
Come on, Jamie.
It's basically...
how'd you spell it again?
Who came up with it?
Abaddon.
I thought it was like a...
It's basically the angel that protects all the demons from getting out of hell.
That's badass.
He's like the gate. He's like the gatekeeper.
That's fucking sick.
He's Abaddon the destroyer. He destroys and keeps all the demons in hell.
Who came up with that?
Actually, Webster.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember the first time I met Webster.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the dictionary when you said Webster, because literally the first thing that popped up was Webster's dictionary when I Googled it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, shout out.
He's their fucking kin.
No, shout out Chris Webster, other guitar player in our band.
Okay.
He's basically one of God's angels, and he's in charge of keeping all the demons and everyone in hell.
That's
so
fucking
awesome.
bad.
That is the most. That's a brutal fucking name.
That is the most metal name. I'm glad I knew the term.
I knew it was going to have something to do with something like that. I don't know why. I just had a feeling.
It's not even. We didn't even get it for a religious reason. It was just Abaddon the Destroyer.
Yeah,
and that's why we.
That's fucking killer, dude.
You guys get the rights to that, right?
Did you copyright it?
I think the Bible gets the rights for that.
God and Jesus get those rights. But other than that, we'll take whatever.
Hey, Skylar, did you have any questions?
Yeah. Before we end this, did you
have any questions?
Yeah, did you?
Yeah,
have
man.
any?
Because we put a mic on your ass.
Come on, Jamie.
Further.
Come on, Jamie.
No, I don't have any questions, but I wanted to say my guilty pleasure, Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead O'Connor. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
That's my guilty pleasure. I mean, dude.
So you like bald chicks?
Dude, no.
Hey, we should introduce him to Sky.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
I know a few chicks you might be into, bro.
Weirdest voice, and it just kind of gets me going sometimes.
There you go, brother.
Dude, you remember playing at G-Spot, right? There in DeSoto.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
It was like in the wintertime, you had to wear a jacket when you played in that place.
And then in the
summertime,
all the beer came from a like a wash tub that was filled with ice.
Yeah. Do you remember how she paid us? Me and Unc talked about this in the last one.
I don't know that we ever got paid.
Yeah. Well, when we did get paid, she always brought us in the women's bathroom. And she's like, I remember, I have to bring this story up because it's one of my favorite stories.
I love
with
when
you.
these start like
I know,
this.
I know. It's only going to end good.
So I remember the band name. I don't remember the guy that you got into it with.
Oh, I do.
A
I
minion.
don't want to talk about. Yeah.
You don't want to talk about
Oh,
it?
You mean whenever I about got in the fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not bring up the band name, but
No, we can talk.
because I'm friends with one of the dudes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too. But I remember we're sitting outside and we got done playing, and I don't remember how it all got started, but I remember the dude goes. Jones said something. And
He said we had a lot of heart.
Jones lost.
He goes,
his-
"You guys, well, you got a lot of heart," and I was like, "Fuck you!"
and it was fucking on.
It was on. Yeah.
Oh, that was good times.
Was he like downplaying your band?
Yeah.
He goes, "Well, you guys, you got a lot of heart,"
Yeah. It's like saying that.
and I was like,
That's a backhanded compliment.
"Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and I was ready to fight
Yeah.
at that point.
We were fucking 80 beers in.
and 18 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
in a formal strip club.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Not 18. I'm lying.
No, we were probably that age. Did you remember the Phantom Cop?
That was awesome.
I had this old Chrysler, like 86 Chrysler.
No, we were in my truck.
Were we in your truck?
We were in my truck, but you were driving.
Oh, I was hammered.
Yeah, I was hammered too. That's why you were driving.
We were underage as shit. We were leaving Carbondale. We were in Benton, right?
Yep, in Benton.
And I remember the lights came on. I'm like, oh shit.
Yep.
And I like cut it hard. And I hit
And
the
went
curb.
over the curb
hit the curb, and we parked, and the lights are flashing.
in a parking lot somewhere.
It's at the Hux. It was that Hux right there on the corner.
Somewhere right by the
14.
interstate.
Yeah, and I remember Jones goes, "We're fucking going to jail, man. We're fucking done." And we're sitting there, the lights are flashing, and they just
All of a
stopped.
sudden, they just stopped, and there was nobody around.
Yeah,
We just sit there, we looked at each other, and we're like, holy shit. So apparently the cop pulled off onto the interstate.
yeah. He's like,
what's what
"Just
happened
fucking
there.
go."
I was like, just go, bro, just go.
A lot of good times, man. A lot of good times.
You think
But
we can do this again?
I think so, man. You guys? We're definitely going to have Matt and Webster back on.
Yeah.
But Denny, we'd love to have you back on the podcast
I mean,
again.
guys, like, thank
Man,
you.
I feel like I'm. I think you're a bubby now, bub.
Welcome to the Bubbies.
You're a bubby, bub.
Dude, for real though, thank you for having me. And I feel like first off, it's great to see you.
For sure, man.
I mean, dude, like it.
I'm just fatter.
Dude, you're still handsome,
Older and
but,
fatter.
But I was telling my parents, I'm like, I'm gonna go see Matt Lennon. I'm so excited, and mom
Yeah.
and dad were like, tell him I said, hey, he's such a sweet guy.
Don't let him give you the drugs.
And I go, Mom, Dad, he's a piece of shit. Don't let him fool you. So anyway,
definitely.
But as far as you goes, buddy, I think I've met my
Don't tell him.
Extra-
Don't go there.
I think
I swear to God, your phone will be fucking breaking.
real talk. I think I met like my third brother in a weird way.
Yeah.
Dude, because
shit.
we were talking about diet, we were talking about
Jeez.
anxiety, we were talking about all this stuff, and I'm like,
It was
white
the
coat
cum
girl-
doorknobs, wasn't it? That's what did it.
I didn't want to
If you-
repeat
if-
that, but
if you want to get you a pull, if you want to get you a pull,
get a pull.
I'm like, guys, all the other stuff I was saying was bullshit. It was the cum doorknobs. I mean, come on. I'm like, he stole my heart.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
He's good. Yeah, you're
Thanks
a
for-
good interviewer, man.
Thanks, brother.
hey guys, thanks for coming on the podcast. This is Rockin' Bubbies. Tune in next time for episode.
Much love.
You right, man.